Man, we got a good show today.
It's
We
gonna
got a damn good show.
it flows really well, I think.
Yeah, man. We're gonna we're gonna talk about a little bit of everything. Well, in the wrestling world, we're talking about a little bit of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Might be what you want to hear, might not be. I don't really care, but it's gonna be fun, no doubt. And gaming, we got some good stuff coming. We got some good stuff to talk about. Shit, I might even tell a story or two.
Oh, we get a Profit story
Um,
today?
oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, we get you get to hear the weirdest flex ever. You know, just a guy yelling at the top of his lungs in the store, challenging everybody to a certain game, and you're gonna hear about it.
Oh, that's right. I didn't hear the story. Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna. So we got some of that going on, and at the end we got some recommendations. We're gonna talk about some good anime for you guys to watch. And and one of the anime I mentioned last week, and Lionel watched it.
God, that anime was so good.
And
I can't wait to talk about it.
oh yeah, he's gonna give his thoughts too. So we got a good packed show today. So let's get it going. Let's get it on.
Man, you know what we got to do, right? You got to say the name of the show. I did it last week. Go for it.
All right. Welcome to the Anime Games and Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Woo! Does that sound good?
So, it sounds good. So, the Anime Game and Pro Wrestling Podcast
Woo!
with
Woo!
your hosts, me, Jeff Proffitt,
And me,
and
Lionel.
Lion. Oh yeah. So we got a damn good show.
You know what?
So let's get going.
We got to talk about something first before we actually get into the show. I didn't even think about it until just now, actually.
Oh shit. Well, let's talk.
Thank you to everyone who watched episode 1. We had a lot more people than I thought were going to watch that episode, and just it was great. I had people that I hadn't even talked to in a little bit. They were like, "Oh, you got a podcast? Let me on it." I'm like, "Hey, calm down, calm down. Let us get our bearings first, then we'll get some guests." But again, just thank you everyone who watched the episode. We got a lot of really good feedback. Also, like I appreciate it. I know Profit does.
Yeah, like I second that, man. Like thank you to everybody that watched the podcast or you know gave us some of your time last week and and listened to it. And we're gonna keep doing it. We got the growing pains, but we're gonna get through it. And we're gonna continue to give you guys some quality content. So thank
Yes,
you guys.
sir. Now let's get into it by shitting on WWE first.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite subject.
I'm gonna let you intro this. We got the first one up. I'm about to play the video right now. Go for it.
Okay, so you guys remember last week when I was talking about Jacob Fatu and him when the second he comes into WWE into the Bloodline, you can't take the rest of the Bloodline serious. Well, what the hell happened on SmackDown? Jacob Fatu shows up, does his thing, and the rest of the Bloodline just looks like shit.
I'm gonna say this right now.
He's the guy.
I'm gonna say this right now. I haven't seen what he has done in WWE. I didn't see his debut, but I've known about Jacob Fatu for a while now, and that is a bad man. Like Prophet was saying last week,
Oh,
the second that he shows up in WWE is going to be a problem for the Bloodline.
yep. And now it's a problem for the Bloodline because they all look like shit. Solo Sokoa is boring. Um, Tamatanga and Tongaloa don't even, they're just there. They're getting that free Bloodline money.
Yep.
Um, but Jacob Fatu, he's the truth. He's the shit. Out of all of them, that's the leader of the Bloodline to me. It ain't Solo Sokoa. He's the guy that's going to take care of business and get it done. And as you saw, well, as people saw on SmackDown, the first person he fucked up was Cody Rhodes. He showed up
Woo!
and wrecked Cody Rhodes, jumping off the top rope and going through going through the announce table with them, and just further showing he's that guy. And as you guys see him wrestle, you're gonna see it even more. There's a reason why a company actually put their faith and put a title on this guy is because he is good and he is damn good. And I would only watch this guy do his thing because he's a fantastic wrestler. He's legit.
I think this is gonna be very high praise, right? But I think even if you limit his moveset, like which you guys are seeing right now, I think he can still pull off amazing things. Because WWE, you can't do everything there, right? Like you're not gonna have your full moveset. But there are people that have been able to easily like come over and just make it work. People like AJ Styles, people like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Jacob Fatu is on that level. He is great. And I am very jealous of the people who get to watch him for the first time on WWE, because the first time I saw him, it was incredible.
Yeah. Well, I think now with the Triple H led WWE, you've been seeing a lot more people being able to do stuff like pile drivers. What's his name? Did the Kryptonite Crush the other day? Cody Rhodes did it.
What?
Yeah, one of the banned moves. And so you're going to see them a lot more, and I think he's going to be able to do his complete move set. So it's not even going to be that anymore. So it's going to be good stuff. For everybody watching WWE. See, we kind of swerved it on you guys. You thought we were going to share.
It's because we're fans of Jacob Fatu, honestly.
Yeah.
And I will say, I have been a fan of Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa before when they were doing the tag team stuff. And I even said it last week. Tonga Loa was really good before he hurt his leg, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't trust it anymore, which I get.
Yeah, but I don't know. Unfortunate to me, like the rest of the bloodline coming in just feels like a cash in, and that's not like talking about Jacob Fatu. He's going to do his thing no matter what. He didn't even need the bloodline.
No, he really didn't.
To be honest, he could have just showed up and just wrecked people, and it would have, they just throw a world championship on this guy. The rest of those guys, they need somebody. They need the bloodline, but Jacob Fatu, nah, he don't. He could go solo right now and he'd be fine. Because they're gonna bring like the rest of the goddamn family in there, which it's gonna become like the NWO back in the WCW days. It's just gonna be like the Samoan Dynasty version of it.
A bunch of Samoans, a bunch of Tongans, just all together.
Yeah, like pretty much. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it's just like half the family's green. So there's going to be, there's going to be some good guys, and there's going to be some that are like, I don't know how you got here.
I am curious though, and I gotta ask you real quick.
What's up?
What are they gonna do when Roman comes back, whenever that is?
So they're going to have two bloodlines. They're going to have the original bloodline. They already kicked out Jey Uso, or whichever Uso was left.
Oh, Jimmy.
So it's going to be Reigns in the Usos, and I don't know who the hell they're going to get next, because there's going to be like 10 motherfuckers on the bloodline by the time he gets back. Because like Hikuleo is coming.
Yeah.
And then you got what's his face? That's been teased in the past few weeks. Zilla Fatu, which is another Fatu.
Oh, he's gonna show up too?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the only reason you go to Booker T's wrestling, training ground is to get prepped for WWE. That's what he did. He was trying to hotshot himself though to WWE, and they're like,
Nah, dog.
Maybe you should get some more training. Get about 2 weeks more, we'll put you in.
I'm
But
I'm,
yeah,
I'm actually really
no,
excited to see
like,
what Jacob Fatu does.
and same here. Like, he'd be the bright spot of the show for sure.
All right. I think we're good to move on. As much as I want this to finish to so people can see more moves, hopefully WWE will just show them all.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to do it, but you're not going to see it in the first 10 squash matches. So,
Oh god, no. All right, let's move forward. All right. I gotta get you on this one also because I don't really know too much about this. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but we gotta talk about what you call it, the new Wyatt family. What is it called?
yeah. So it's the White Six. So it is Uncle Howdy, which is Bo Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Cross, who I think is fantastic. Eric Rowan, Dexter Loomis, and Joe Gacy. So the presentation of this shit. Oh, is the presentation of these guys coming out is fantastic. I'm not worried about the presentation. I'm more worried about when they actually have to start doing something. Right? Like, none of these guys were really good by themselves. Except for Nikki Cross.
Yeah, Nikki's great.
Right? Nikki Cross is fantastic.
Bo Dallas is
But,
great on NXT. Bo Dallas is great on NXT.
yeah, Bo Dallas is damn good on NXT. Like, I believe, damn it. I fucking believe. Had my thumb up running laps around the place and shit like that. Yeah, it was good. And then Vince McMahon destroyed him.
Yeah.
Which is a common thing. You
Yeah.
know, that guy could have easily been, if they actually had some faith in him, Intercontinental Champion for a long time, because he had that. I want to say he had that Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect type deal. You hated him, but he was sound enough to wrestle, and he was like, he could. He was a threat every time he wrestled. But yeah, the Wyatt Six. I don't know. Like, the jury's still out. I hope. Like, you guys might think I'm talking negative here, but I really hope they succeed.
Because they
Like, I really, really, really hope they succeed. Like, it'd just be a tragedy that they do all this stuff and they can't get over. Right? Like, that would suck. If they could get to the close to the original Wyatt family as far as how good they can get over, we can get something back in the day when the Wyatt family and the Shield were about to go at it,
mm-hmm.
that was some good shit right there. Both were at the height of their group. If we could get something close to that, that would it'd be perfect. But I really worry about it because it's a lot of mid guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mid guys shotgun to a high spot. A lot of times it doesn't work. It doesn't work that good. And they're also working off of, hey, I'm gonna be that guy that says it. The death of Bray Wyatt, right? There's a lot of hype from this because of that. He laid down the groundwork though, but it's like, okay, when that hype dies down, and when you guys actually have to do the thing, can you do it? Can you stay over?
That's why
I hope they can. I
I'm
don't
really
think they can.
hopeful. I'm really hopeful because of the reason you just said. This is basically a tribute to Bray. And sure, Bray had his ups and downs in WWE, right? Like it took he's still a former WWE champion. Not a lot of people
Right.
can say that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know what? Bray's worst enemy was Bo Dallas's worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just put it like that. Vince McMahon kind of effed Bray Wyatt. Let's just put that out there. He kind of it was another one of those things. He didn't get what Bray Wyatt was, so he put him in all these fucked up situations in fucked up storylines, and you know, have him lose to what, Goldberg for some stupid ass reason and lose his title. I don't know, man. Like there was stuff that happened that shouldn't have. But yeah. Besides that, I really hope the White Six succeed. Their presentation is fantastic. It is ridiculous, and the way they beat up everybody and just left them laying backstage. I think that was like a perfect way to introduce these guys some type of threat. Now we got to see them in the ring.
I do. Have been. I know people after recording this, you're not going to be able to see this, right? But I'm watching them come in. Did Chad Gable have a fucking bullet in his head? What was that?
Oh yeah, Chad Gable got killed last week, and then he was back on SmackDown.
Okay, so he's still alive. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, he's still alive. He can't kill Chad Gable.
Good. Shouldn't be able to. But yeah, watching this, bro, the presentation is it reminds me of the first time we saw The Fiend. And
yeah,
when The Fiend showed up, what was it? I forget what pay-per-view it was. I don't watch WWE like that, obviously, right? But that entrance was incredible. And this definitely has that Fiend vibe. Like, it's definitely, people are saying like this is the next Wyatt family, Wyatt 6 or whatever, right? This definitely is more fiendish. Fiendish. Yeah. But I really enjoy it. Plus, fucking there's blood splattered everywhere. Like, what is this?
So since you haven't watched WWE in a while, the second Big Man was out, blood returned.
Oh my god!
Bleeding all the time now.
Oh my god!
There's people getting busted open all the time now.
Are they still talking a lot?
Oh, of course.
Nah.
So there's only 30 minutes of wrestling on any show.
But that 30 minutes is bloody.
Oh, maybe. You might get the blood on a pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
Or if it's a storyline related thing. So like when I think it was Tama Tonga first came in, beat the crap out of, I forgot who he beat up, but he busted him open.
Okay.
So, stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I am a fan of this. Am I gonna watch WWE for this? No. But I'll watch clips. We'll talk about it. I will enjoy what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, I think we're gonna move on.
Yeah, let's move forward. Now we're actually gonna get into some shit. Because what we have to talk about next is the Hardys.
Yeah, you may not like it, but it's got to be said.
All right.
So, this is from Against All Odds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Moose won against Matt Hardy and it was for, of course, the TNA title.
Yep. My champion. Yep.
Moose carried him the whole time. And I don't mean just carried. He literally carried this guy the whole time so he could do the spots. Made it super easy for Matt Hardy because that motherfucker can't move.
Yeah.
That guy can barely walk to the ring. So shout outs to Moose for being that guy to literally carry the whole match on his back by himself.
That's my champion.
To make it entertaining. But the main thing we want I'm gonna bring up is just Matt Hardy just talking trash about his AEW run, which is a product of his own fault.
Yeah.
One, you're old. But it's not that you're old, it's that you're old and you can barely walk.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And two, your brother keeps screwing you guys. You guys were literally about to get the AEW tag team titles in a match against FTR and the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And you're about to have a little title run, kind of like, like a Hardy tribute title run where you guys go through like the whole roster. But guess who fucked that up?
You know what? Hold on. We'll back it up. I want to give a little bit of context, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can call Matt Hardy pretty close to AEW day one. He's been in AEW from 2019 to this year, 2024, right? So he's been around. He's done a lot of things there, right? A lot of people have noticed that he wasn't able to really go like he used to, right? But he's friends with the Bucks. They still put him in matches. They still did things with him. He was still pretty much everywhere. In my opinion, he held down Private Party for like a year. So that neither here nor there. Jeff shows up. Jeff gets this big ovation also. Jeff can still Jeff can still go. I haven't seen what he's done in TNA yet, but Jeff can still go. So I guess it was known that they were going to win the AEW tag team titles, like Proffitt was saying. Literally like a week or two before the match, Jeff got a DUI. So he had to be off of TV. AEW did what they had to for his rehab. They put him back in a good place. They eventually come back to AEW, and they're not really where they were before, right? Like, they're mostly on Rampage, and I'm not shitting on Rampage. I think Rampage is a great show. But collectively, not many people watch Rampage, right? Jeff was on a couple of Dynamites. Matt didn't really wrestle anymore, and if he did, it was like 5-10 minutes in a loss. So they leave. Matt is in TNA, as Proffitt was talking about. Jeff shows up in TNA for this match that Proffitt was talking about. And then after this, Matt did an interview saying that AEW misused them. And it was a lot of bad mouthing AEW. And a lot of it was lies. And I think that's the main problem. You can badmouth whatever you want. Whatever. Just don't lie about it.
Right. Don't Hogan us, man.
Exactly. Like y'all were going to win the tag team titles. And people at that point were saying that was not a good idea, because that was AEW in 2022, 2023. They didn't have a lot of great ideas at that point. They were doing whatever they could to put nostalgia people over. Like, I don't know, if you want to call it Tony's favorites, call it whatever you want. But people that probably shouldn't have been in the limelight were getting more limelight. And that was part of the problem of AEW 2022, 2023.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But, yeah, like, the main thing is, like, we're going to use a quote of "He who must not be named." Jeff Hardy screwed Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Actually, Jeff Hardy screwed the Hardy Boys. You have no one else. There's no one else to blame, right? Like, how can a company trust you when when your brother's getting DUIs all the damn time?
And bro, this shit ain't even the first time. Like, he already ruined a pay-per-view for TNA 10 years ago.
Yeah, like he came to the pay-per-view high as fuck. He wasn't drunk. He was super high, and wrestling Sting for the world title.
God,
it's like, you wrestle Sting for the world title, and you come in high. You ain't trying to do a good match, and you could see how pissed off Sting was. And they ended the match in like 2 minutes. It wasn't even really a match.
No, Sting basically put him down. He held him down by force to win the title.
Yeah.
After a bunch of shenanigans that happened before the match even started. Like,
yeah.
I think Bischoff made it like an ODQ. Jeff Hardy took like 10 minutes to even come out. Like, his music was playing for like a solid 3-4 minutes before he even walked down the ramp.
Right.
So that's
So as you're going to see now, or you're people aren't going to see it, but Jeff Hardy's coming out now, and he can barely get to the ring.
I can probably just play this part. We'll probably just play this part so people can see it. I think yeah, he can. He's not even moving as well as he did in AEW.
No.
Like I get it. Like I get it. Also, defend your brother, right? Like sure. Like I would defend my brother till the ends of the earth. It doesn't matter. But at the same time, you got to be realistic. Like it's not a company's fault that you were misused.
Yeah.
Be an adult. That's it.
Well, sometimes it could be, but in this particular case, it wasn't.
Yeah, in this case, no.
You know, like because as we were talking about Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt before, some were when Vince was there, he was misusing a lot of people.
Damn near everybody. We'll be honest.
But yeah, just overall, I just think that there was a delusion he had to where it's the world. I call it the world champion delusion. Like Kazarian had it. He thought he was world champion material. I was like, get out of here. You mid card champ at best, bro. Like or a tag champ. That's all you got.
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn on my TV to watch Kazarian.
Yeah.
Or maybe like, I ain't gonna get on Bobby Fish. I like Bobby Fish. But nah, fuck that. Bobby Fish.
Yeah, there you go. I was about to say, like this that wasn't normal. Let that go?
Oh. Nah, I ain't letting that go. I don't even know where he is now. Him and Father Time are like talking or something like that.
Funny thing.
Time change.
Funny thing. I actually just saw him yesterday. Like he was on an MLW card for on YouTube. They premiered a anniversary show, and he was wrestling on it. I forget who he wrestled against. I just saw his name. I was like, oh shit, Bobby Fish, and then I turned it off.
Oh, I hope he didn't talk. Just don't give that boy a mic.
Where is the lie?
Where's the lie? It's like, oh, and he said that, and all the fans were just looking at him like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? You got a silent arena.
Oh God,
ain't nobody trying to pay for Bobby Fish. Get out of here.
Oh God, you know what? I think talking about delusions of certain people is a great segue to talk about what we are going to talk about next.
Oh yes, let's get into it.
Man, you've been doing. I got you on this one. All right, I got you on this one.
Okay. And I'll set it up.
I'm not gonna be nice about it either. If I'm not gonna lie. WWE is now trying to do their own Forbidden Door. They've been trying to do this now for a little bit. We've seen Jordan Grace on NXT. We've seen Joe Hendry on NXT. We have a lot of NXT talent talking about, oh, we want to go wrestle this person, wrestle that person, do blah 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 blah, right? The problem is that's not really being given back the other way. So what we're going to be talking about right now is Jordan Grace, who is the TNA Women's Champion, wrestled a person that I personally do not know.
I can fill you in on Roxanne Perez. I like Roxanne Perez.
Yes.
Too. So like, it's not even a knock on Roxanne Perez. It's more. Well, actually, I'll let you end, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. Yeah. So they had a pay-per-view, NXT Battleground, where the NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez, wrestled the TNA Women's Champion in Jordan Grace. And spoiler alert, Jordan lost. Go ahead.
Right.
All you.
Okay. So, I'm just going to start out with, like, just to inform people of Roxanne Perez. Since most people don't know, she was the Ring of Honor Women's Champion.
Yes, she was.
It was Roxy, right? So, she was already good. She was ridiculously good. So, it's I like her work. Here's the problem with the whole NXT TNA thing, right? NXT is developmental, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have your world women's champion, right? You have the equivalent, that's not even equivalent. It's your world champion.
Yep.
So you have a world champion on a developmental show, and she loses to the developmental champion. What does that do for you? It does nothing other than devalue your title.
And we need to talk about this because people might not know. The TNA world titles are established world championships. They are talked about as world championships even on WWE television.
Right. So WWE effectively devalued that title, right? And yes, Jordynne Grace loses. Well, she loses because of interference, pretty much, but she is actually kind of like a clean loss, as you're viewing.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of the ring, pinned 1, 2, 3. No controversy. You can't say, oh, the ref didn't see her put her foot on the thing. Now, I just think TNA is getting nothing from this. Like, you know who gets more from this than TNA? So one of the companies that we didn't talk about was Pro Wrestling Noah. They get AJ Styles. AJ Styles is going to wrestle matches over there. Why not have AJ Styles go to TNA, kind of bring it back, come full circle, right? Like, maybe do a program with Moose. That would be cool. That would bring it back. It would be a main roster guy going against somebody on TNA. But no, we're fucking around with this TNA versus developmental because WWE doesn't think of them as anything more than developmental.
We can even take this a step further, actually. Because not only is Noah benefiting, Japan is benefiting. Because in Marigold, which is a new company that has not even been around for 6 months, is getting Io Sky to wrestle over there.
Right.
Like, Japan is getting what NXT, or not NXT, what TNA should be getting. Top stars going and wrestling. I mean, do we know who's going to win? No, it hasn't happened yet. But the fact that AJ Styles and Io Sky are going to be in Japan, who were also insanely huge stars in Japan before going to WWE, should say something. And now we need to talk about the other side of this. Who showed up on TNA? Proffitt.
So the person that showed up on TNA is, I don't know who the hell she is. Just some random NXT person. Like, I'll probably get flamed for it, but I don't care. She is some random NXT person. Well, let me get the name.
Like Proxy, like Tate. I don't remember what her name was. And no shots to her at all. But I mean, you're not on world championship level. Sorry.
Not on Jordynne Grace's level.
No.
I'm sorry. Like, and if you know me, you know I love Jordynne Grace. That's like one of my favorite women wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they, I hope what I heard was correct, and that she's getting a big bag for this. But unfortunately, like, for, the loser is TNA. Unless they do the run back and, it's for the TNA championship and Jordynne Grace wins, which, I don't know. I haven't heard any more NXT versus TNA shit going.
We know Joe Hendry showed up like last week. I heard about that because that got like viewed like crazy, right? But again, that is I don't want to call Joe Hendry a top star in TNA. He is great in TNA, but going over to NXT and not vice versa.
And to be honest, like, so her name is Tatum Paxley. I've never heard of her before.
Me neither.
And no slate to you, Tatum. You probably never hear this, but
I'm gonna send it to her directly.
Jordan Grace should be going against main roster people. But you know what? I'm actually not surprised because how they treat Naomi as soon as she came back.
Yeah, who is a former TNA Women's Champion, who Jordan beat for the title.
Right. She's on the main roster just taking L's. So it's, you know, it is what it is.
Here.
And on Joe Hendry, on that point, Joe Hendry should have been on main roster. There's no way in hell he should have been on NXT.
I mean,
but
neither should Jordan.
No, neither should Jordan Grace. Like Joe Hendry, the reaction he would have got on a main roster type deal, like, you know, an arena full of fans, would have been way bigger.
Bro, he is
been way better.
He is perfect for what WWE does. He's a character. He's like perfect for them.
100%. Like he's like, yeah, but I guess the if he actually went to WWE, he might be screwed. So, so he's probably in TNA. But yeah, man, like, you know, that's my thoughts on it. TNA is not getting anything out of this. Their viewership didn't even go up because, newsflash, guys, WWE fans don't watch wrestling outside of WWE.
Nope.
Like, those people that were cheering for Jordan Grace, it was because they saw her in the Royal Rumble. They didn't know who the fuck she was. The people, you know, that were cheering for Joe Hendry in NXT, it was because one guy started cheering. And then the rest of them like, yeah, maybe I should cheer too.
Here, I will say this. I'm not going to call it a forbidden door because I don't want that. But if you want a partnership to work, just in general, not even just wrestling, both sides need to be seen as equal. That is the only way a partnership will work. That is partially the reason why before New Japan and AEW were doing so well with Forbidden Doors. Like, because they are seen as equal. People have come to NXT, Jesus Christ. People have come to AEW from New Japan and other places and have beaten talent there. Is it top talent? Maybe not. But they've still won on AEW TV. And the same thing has happened in New Japan. AEW wrestlers and other people have won. They've beaten people in Japan. So you need to have a partnership for this to work. And if you don't have that, if one side is seen as lesser, it doesn't work. And that's what's happening right now with TNA and WWE specifically.
Yep. And it was pretty much TNA got downgraded, man. And it just sucks that the main guy that steered that ship out of like hell, you know, from the hell from that Bischoff and Hogan had left it in.
Mm-hmm.
He steered it out of there and made it an actual like good company. Was fired, and now you get this partnership where they don't win.
It's so lame. All right, I think we can move forward.
Yeah, let's move forward.
We got one more wrestling topic that we got to talk about today.
Oh yeah, let's talk about it.
Owen Hart Classic Tournament.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get into this really quick. So for those who don't know, Owen Hart tournament is a dedication tournament that AEW has been doing now. This is the third year for Owen Hart. Before, the winner got a belt and a trophy, and they were good. This year is a big year because the winner of the men's and women's Owen Hart Cup gets a shot at the world titles, the men's and women's, at All in Wembley Stadium. So this is a very big deal.
Very big deal.
So, go ahead.
If you have it up, let's go over the tournament bracket.
Oh, I got you.
Ooh.
We'll start with the men's. So,
okay.
The first match that has already happened, so I guess we can kind of talk about it, is Claudio versus Pac. Pac won that match. That was the main event of Dynamite. Very surprising roll up. Great match though. And then we will move on to the bottom part, which is going to be happening at Forbidden Door. We won't talk too much about it because we're going to have a Forbidden Door show next week. Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi. The winner of that match wrestles Pac to go to the finals. And on the other side, this is what makes this one interesting, okay? We have the top is Rey Fenix versus Jay White. And the bottom is Jeff Jarrett versus a wild card. So we don't know who Jeff Jarrett's facing yet.
I got my thoughts.
Ooh, let's get into it. Who do you think it is?
Hangman.
Think it's Hangman?
I think it's Adam Page, man.
Yeah, that's easy, right? It's like easy one to do.
That's an easy layup because let's look at it, right? So say Adam Page wins the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And Swerve, that's not even if. When Swerve walks out of Forbidden Door, still champ.
Yeah, when
he walks out world champ, still. Because we already know the Don Callis family is just going to beat up Ospreay.
Implode.
So, what would be the obvious thing to happen? Take Hangman Page, get him to have a program with Swerve again on a bigger scale, with bigger stakes, which is the World Championship.
God, them wrestling the main event of Wembley does sound amazing.
Right?
But, counterpoint.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else in the tournament? And who else actually really needs to be selfish and be a world champion even for a day? Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson.
If he wants to. That's if Bryan Danielson wants to.
I need him to want to. Real bad. Even if Swerve wins it on a Wednesday or at All Out the next week. Back. I need Bryan Danielson to be a world champion. Badly.
That would be great. But I you know what's funny about Bryan Danielson's run in AEW? He's never needed a title.
Yeah, he hasn't. He's unselfish. The fucking asshole.
Like CM Skunk over there. But
got him.
He's so good at what he does. He doesn't need a title. Like, his run is insane in AEW when you look at it.
Yeah, it's been fantastic.
All without a title. A title doesn't cement anything, really. It's just... It would be cool if he got one, but he doesn't need it.
That's where I'm at. I just want him to be world champion. Again, like I said, even if he has it for a week, I don't care. I just need to see him have that entrance with the title. And if we can get Final Countdown in there on top of that, that would be golden. But
oh yeah, of course.
I just need it. Like, I'm cool with Bryan Danielson cutting in line and just winning the title. He's not gonna do it, obviously. It's most likely gonna be Hangman because that makes sense for story, right? Hangman Swerve, great. I just want him to be selfish. Just Bryan Danielson, just one time, even if it's not the world title, just something, bro. Anything at this point. I'm begging.
Okay, I got something for you.
Uh huh.
So, well, if he doesn't win the world title, okay. But there is an ongoing story between him and Osprey.
Yes, there is.
He can win that international title,
I'll take. Like I said, I will take anything.
which is literally like a world title.
Shit, bro. Shit, bro. He can take the FTW championship. I don't give a fuck. I just need him to have a title one time in AEW before he semi-retires.
Sorry, Hook, you ain't getting it back.
Nah, dog. Look, he can make a cardboard championship that his daughter made for him and just win it and bring it out, and I will be happy. Anything. But realistically, it's gonna be Hangman, and that match is gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
All right, now let's get into. Oh, go ahead.
I said if that happens, and if this happens again, it's been recorded. That have once again predicted the future. I'm just saying.
I mean, look, that happens to us all the time. Now we just have proof.
Yep.
All right, let's get into this women's championship, which it's actually kind of interesting because there's a lot of story coming into this one. So we'll start on the left side again. It is Willow versus Deeb. That one already happened. Willow won that match, right? So,
okay.
Next is Nyla and Chris. That one also happened on Dynamite. Chris won that match. So we are now guaranteed in the second round to get Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander to go to the finals. I don't know if you remember, Chris Statlander's an asshole that hurt Willow. That's the thing that's going on right now. They're going to fight for the finals. I don't know when the match is going to be yet. I'm guessing in a couple weeks probably. Next on the other side of the bracket is Deonna Purrazzo versus Hikaru Shida. Shida's back. That's nice. And the one that I'm kind of interested in, the one that makes me curious, is Mariah May versus Saraya. It's the final match of the Women's Owen Hart tournament.
Huh.
Okay.
Crazy,
right?
It's crazy. I just want you're gonna hate me when I say this.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
I want Shida to win.
That would make sense too, right? Because Shida and Tony we're passing by Mina, but Mina's definitely not going to win that match at Forbidden Door next week, right? For sure.
Yeah.
So Shida versus Tony would be great, but what if Mariah May wins the tournament?
That's a possibility too.
Yeah, man.
She already took a loss from Saraya.
Exactly.
And it was kind of a fluke. So, this time they wrestle for real and Mariah wins.
And okay, hear me out, because I've been thinking about this a lot, and I haven't really talked to you about this yet. So listen to my theory, all right?
What we got?
I think Mariah's winning, and I think that Mariah is guaranteed to turn on Tony.
100%.
Guaranteed. And I think it's going to happen at Forbidden Door. I don't think they're going to wait.
No, they're gonna. Yeah, no, it's for sure happening. You can see the seed being planted.
Like we saw
when.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say at Double or Nothing, she was about to throw in the towel.
Yep. That's one part, right? For sure. Mina being around, and we see how Mariah and Mina get along. They got along before in Stardom, right?
Right.
There's there's something there. Obviously, it's being thrown in our face, right? I fully believe that Mariah is going to win this tournament, and she's going to go on to Wembley and face Tony. Is she going to win? Probably not. But I fully think that story would be fantastic going into Wembley.
Oh yeah, that would be good. That would be a real good story. Like, I think my Mariah May is just as a wrestler in general, she brings it. She's great.
She's fantastic, bro.
And you could always tell, like, the funny thing you could tell is the start. The ones that have wrestled anywhere near a Joshi.
Yes.
Their styles are like they lay it in.
That's why Stardom's so great.
Yeah. Now, if only Jamie Hayter came back.
God, I was realistically hoping that we had a wild card in this one too, because when they announced the bracket, they announced the men's first, and we had the wild card. So I was like, oh shit, wild card, Jamie Hayter. Nope, didn't get that. I'm assuming she's gonna come back at Wembley. I'm hoping, because it's been like how long now? Over a year?
Yeah, over a year. Over a year.
Did she wrestle in Wembley last year? She did, didn't she, Jamie?
What's up? I don't.
Because I think she lost that All Out, right?
I think so.
I'm checking right now too. I'm pretty sure because people were that was after the whole CM Punk thing happened. No, she didn't.
Yeah, I don't think she lost.
When? Okay. I'm remembering this wrong for sure then.
Oh no! Hold on, she did lose. She lost to Tony Storm.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But that was after like she had a long title reign. If she wasn't already injured, she probably would have. She probably would have retained.
Yeah, probably. It was the shoulder, and she's been out ever since with that shoulder.
Yep.
Damn it. Well, it is what it is. Hopefully she comes back at All Out or All In, and we can see Jamie again. That would be fantastic.
Oh yeah, that would be good. I feel bad for whoever's in the way.
Look, that women's division is beefed up now. Like that women's division is fantastic. They stacked, like you just said.
Yep, and it's going more global now too. So thanks to Mercedes Moné, when she decided to go to AEW, the women's division instantly got it instantly got better because everything behind the scenes and stuff like that, it all got beefed up to support a women's division.
And it really needed to. It really needed to.
Now, what I personally need is for Athena to finally get out of ROH and get back on AEW TV.
She's apparently hurt, bro. Yeah, I know. They did a segment on Ring of Honor last week. Like, I don't know if it's a real injury or not, right? I don't look at that kind of stuff. But she came out with a boot on, and she was going to I don't think she was going to relinquish. She was saying that she was going to hold on to the title forever, and she laughed. And then Queen Aminata and Red Velvet came out, and like they kind of hit her above where the thing was, and she kind of fell. So I don't know if she's actually hurt or not, but it sounds like she's stopping for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, wait, I think I saw that right. She hurt herself in a match about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they ended it super early.
Yeah, something with her leg, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that sucks. I was hoping it was just a storyline injury.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It easily could be like the Buddy thing, right? Apparently Buddy isn't actually hurt and he's just taking time off, and they just use that, like the knee thing during the match last week as a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like like I said, I don't really look at that stuff too much. But apparently that's the thing that could be happening. So hopefully it's the same thing with Athena, but we'll see.
Yeah, she needs to be on the main roster. They need to run back that the Nyla Rose and Athena storyline that they did on ROH.
Oh, that tables match, bro.
Yep.
Man.
That whole storyline was like the shit was hilarious, but it was good. And I think that's like some of the stuff that women's division needs.
And now we got Nyla on TV again, who I mean, she just wrestled Chris Statlander, which was a good match also at Dynamite.
Yeah, like I'm glad she's like I'm 100% glad she's back on TV. I like Nyla.
Same, bro. But
And give that girl a mic,
please, bro, she is hilarious.
Yeah, like give Nyla Rose a mic. You won't be disappointed. You won't. It will not be a bad thing. Trust me.
Now, whenever she's talking on Ring of Honor, she was great. She knows exactly what to do with her character. Nyla is very underutilized, and I know she was a women's champion decades ago at this point now, but just put her on TV more. I know she was going to lose against Chris because, you know, they have the story. Nyla needs to be on TV more. She can be a value and an asset to AEW.
Big time. Big time. Just like for men's, and I'm going to advocate this because he showed up actually, like I think last week.
Mm-hmm.
Give me more Dalton Castle, damn it.
Man. Oh, I didn't tell you. So, I went to Collision the day before Double or Nothing, right?
Right.
I was there with my sister, and she was like, oh, I don't really know if I want to stay, because like those were her two first ever wrestling events, right?
Mm-hmm.
We did Collision. She had a good time, so we ended up staying for Ring of Honor. So we ended up seeing Kyle Fletcher versus Dalton Castle live, because that was taped here on Collision on Saturday.
Right.
My sister is now the biggest fan of Dalton Castle, bro. Like, she loves the presentation. She loves how like strong he is. Everything.
Like, that's the thing, though, right? Like, to me, like that guy has like he has the complete package.
He really is.
He's got the character. He can go. Like, I don't think people have seen Dalton Castle wrestle like really get like when he wrestles, the dude can go. There's a reason why he was he was the ROH champ.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He was the Ring of Honor champion with broken ribs, and it was legit broken ribs. Like, he was doing all of his matches, busted up like that,
while still going around 200-pound men.
Yeah, and doing his finisher, the Bangarang. But
man,
he needs to be on TV because it's like it's a travesty that Dalton Castle and the Johnny what does he call himself now?
Oh, Johnny TV.
Johnny TV, right? It's a travesty that isn't on TV. That whole thing with that feud between those two, and Johnny TV apparently leaving the boys out there so they can get eaten by bears. Dalton Castle's reaction, he's like, oh, he falls over. It looks like he passes out. That shit should have been on TV. Like, or, him chasing him around the back where, Johnny TV's doing parkour to get away from him. And Dalton Castle's chasing after him to his locker room and, yelling yelling at him to get out there so he could punch him in the face.
My favorite part about that feud was literally when Johnny TV like went on the ground, he was like hunching on the ground, and then he like basically floated away, like they took a cord and pulled him back through the curtain. That whole thing was hilarious. Everyone watch Ring of Honor. It's great.
Yeah, like watch Ring of Honor. Like Ring of Honor has some good shit that should be on TV. Like, I'm just gonna, hey Tony, put that shit on TV,
please.
Like, you got some gold there. Like that Johnny and The Johnny TV and Dalton Castle thing should have been on TV. Athena and Nyla Rose should have been on TV. Like
What Athena's doing
those
now could have
things,
been on TV.
yeah. And you know the whole thing with the whole storyline with Athena and the minions and um with Billy Starks and that whole thing that happened with with those two, that whole storyline
Yeah.
again should have been on TV.
Like I am thankful we have Ring of Honor. I am, because we get to see a lot of stuff there. But at the same time, you want AEW TV to be better? You want the TV to be better? Do what you're doing with Ring of Honor. Because not every division there, except for the Trios division, which we're not really going to talk about that, has been doing fantastic things on Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And maybe the tag scene wasn't as great at the end of last year, but just do a lot of that stuff on TV. That's what you need.
Yeah. Or just pluck a couple of those lines, right? Like AEW is a wrestling first company. I totally get that. And I'm glad it is like it pretty much like differentiates itself between all the other wrestling companies.
Yeah.
If you want some stuff that's like some storylines that are to kind of break up the wrestling, like the pure wrestling that's going on, stuff like that we'll do it. Like having those Dalton Castle segments and the Nyla Rose and Athena segments, having those on TV will do you nothing but good. It'll give you what you want.
We have seen like remnants of it now, because we will talk about it more next week. But the Swerve and Ospreay stuff has been fantastic. They haven't even touched each other. Like that stuff has been great. Like as much as I enjoy wrestling, the reason I watch New Japan, it's my favorite company because it is wrestling centric for sure, right? But you do need more. I don't even know what the word is that I want to say, but you need a lot of differences on your TV. You need something that pulls in everybody. Storylines do that. Ring of Honor is great for that. Bring that forward.
Yep. You don't gotta bring it all. Just give us a little bit. Just give us a little bit of it.
Yeah. That's it. I think we can get to our next section now, which is gaming. And this topic will be kind of quick. There's not really much to talk about here. But Elden Ring DLC came out.
Yeah, it did.
People are mad.
Oh, I can only guess why.
Big mad. Here, since I brought this one, I will talk about this a little bit, and then we will move on. A lot of people, including people who have played and beaten Elden Ring, are apparently very upset with the difficulty of the Elden Ring DLC.
Okay.
There is a lot of, it's not even just reviewers. There are some reviewers that are giving it bad scores, saying that it shouldn't have been this hard, blah, 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 blah. There are some people who have played Elden Ring before. I don't know if they've cheated or not, or like used like broken stuff or not to get through this, or use like super overpowered stuff. But we've had people go in and they were very upset about the difficulty of the DLC, to the point where it's like a really big thing on Twitter right now, where people are very upset that they paid for a DLC that they quote unquote cannot beat and is quote unquote too difficult.
Oh man, I'm gonna weigh in on this.
All you, bro.
Okay, so I know half of those people fucking complaining are streamers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
They're trying to speed run everything. They try to speed run everything and try to do, like finish it in a day. So they said, "Oh, I finished it in a day. There's not enough content."
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing about this shit is, oh yeah, the content's there. You got to do the, you got to do the work in order to get to that content because you got to beat Mog first, which is a hard ass boss. But here's the thing: why were you okay for this DLC? Why were you expecting to beat it in like a day? These guys have sat there and they have gotten all your data. They got the data for like what builds you're using, what type of you know, what's the average level of all the players in the game. Oh, okay, you streamers that are showing this shit, right? Like, oh, what's your build that you're recommending? Oh, okay, well, they can make stuff that's against that, but it's a DLC. Instead of you assholes enjoying it, you're trying to speed run it on the first day just to say that you're the best, or it's not even the best. Just say oh first,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Like Elden Ring is not a game of just in general for people just like speedrunning. Explore. There's a rich world in this game, and you're not doing that. You just want to power yourself up and just one shot everything. Well, guess what? They knew you were going to do that. And probably the other thing that's probably fucking you right now is you're probably on New Game Plus 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 when you did all this. So guess what's going to happen when you go to a DLC and you're in like New Game Plus like 5?
Exactly.
The whole DLC got scaled up to that point. So yeah, it's hard. It was probably it was probably going to be that hard anyway. I don't know. I just like I don't you know I don't really you know sympathize with them. Um, you knew what you were getting into when you were playing this game, so figure it out. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Agreed. Wholeheartedly agreed. Like, bro, I think you said it perfectly. I don't even think we have to talk about this anymore. I mean, the people who are complaining are bitches, and they need to not be bitches and actually learn how to play games. That's
Yeah,
it.
learn how to play it.
Yeah.
Just, and I'm sure there's stuff you haven't figured out yet. You were just trying to use that OP thing you used in the last game. So come on, figure it out. There's a whole game for you to figure out now.
See, I am also a bitch, and I will not be doing this until later. So yeah. All right, let's move on. I don't think we have to talk about that too much. Uh, the next thing we have to talk about, Profit.
Ooh.
This is all you, bro. They
Ooh.
we got what season 5 is for Diablo 4.
Yes, sir. And let me tell you, when a lot of when you thought it couldn't get better, it's just getting more and more. They found their cadence. They stopped playing the Diablo 2 players,
Mm-hmm.
and they're finally going to my favorite Diablo, and I'll get shit for it. So fuck you guys. Diablo 3, which is the superior Diablo. I'll just say that right now. Um, well, after I got all its patches, we'll just put it like that.
Yeah, it took a little while.
But still, Diablo 4 is becoming more and more, they're getting all them elements from Diablo 3 that made Diablo 3 great, and it's moving it into the right direction. They're they're getting a new mode. Well, not move. They're getting more in-game stuff. So they're going to be adding 50 new uniques to the game. There's going to be new sigils. There's going to be new Paragon nodes, new abilities. There's like it's an astronomical amount of stuff that's going to be going on in season 5. It's going to be playable next Tuesday. Um, but you're literally the theme of the whole season is you're going back to hell, and it's going to be a kind of like a rogue type mode where you kill you start the so you go to the new place and you go to hell, and then you start these waves. Every time you complete a wave, you get a positive, or you gain a positive, but also gain a negative. So say like you gain more damage, but your HP goes down. right? Like stuff like that. And the more extreme, like I think they're calling them affixes, or I forget what they're. I think they're calling them affixes.
Yeah, I
So
think
the
you're right.
stronger the affix, the at the end, at the very end, the better the reward you get, and at the end, you also get like a choice of like different rewards. Like you can go for a chest that gives you a guaranteed unique. One that'll give you like a bunch of legendary to unique items that give you like some good affixes that you don't have. Money, um, crafting materials. You get to pick whatever you want at the end of the thing. So it's just gonna it's gonna further move things along, and the builds are just gonna get more and more insane. Like barbarian, like I'm just gonna say this right now. Anytime you do a loot patch or buff loot, the class that is the most gear dependent is always going to be the most powerful.
That's my character. Barb, let's go.
Barbarian is going to be a menace next year, in season 5, and I don't think they're ready for it. And I'll go with my other rule, and I like to tell people, if you ever want an OP character, or you're looking at classes and you want to decide which is the OP class, if there's a knight that has siphon, is the most broken class in the group. It will always be that way. So, just going past season 5, I'm going to talk a little about the Diablo expansion. Guess the two things that the expansion class has.
Tell me what.
They're not a knight per se, but damn close to it. And they have siphon. So.
Oh. Oh.
So they can leech stuff from other people and siphon. So, I'm just going to say, I'm going to call it right now, like, what? The expansion comes out in October?
Yeah, something like that. October 8th, I think.
I'm calling it here June 23rd at 2:38 p.m. The Spiritborn is going to be the most powerful class in Diablo 4. Hands down. It has that thing. It has that thing that makes it broken. Siphon. There's no real way to balance that ability, and I've never seen a game do it.
Yeah, it's either all or nothing, right? Like with Siphon, it's either going to be really good and take too much, or it's going to be really bad and not take enough, right? Like there's no in between.
Well, no. Well, even if it is quote unquote bad, it's still good. It's it's just not broken, right? It's just like it'll be like it's not even not a broken. It's still broken because what happens is I take from you, you give me all your buffs, or you buff me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I take from you, you buff me. I don't care how many times you decrease it, you're still buffing me on top of my other buffs, and they all stack.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Right? Like, I've never seen a game get past that hurdle. No game has. Even Blizzard's own games haven't. Death Knights are still the most broken class in that game. And, without getting further into WoW, because I love me some WoW, you have so many instances where Death Knights are soloing raid bosses of the current tier after they get their gear.
Because of Siphon, right?
Because they have Siphon.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is, once I buy the DLC, just
play Spirit.
Yeah, just don't even bother. Just don't even try to pretend. Just go play that class.
Play that class in Barbarian.
Oh, you already know I'm playing Barb. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Play that class in Barbarian. If they fixed my fucking Druid, I'd be playing Druid, but You know, I don't want to have like I don't want to be farming for Tempest Roar all day just to make 15 builds work.
Yeah.
Which I can rant about how angry I am at that one tidbit, but yeah, uh, the season 5 patch, it looks very hopeful. I think it's going to be very good, and all the new uniques being added and stuff like that, it's gonna be good. Oh, and the other thing too is the Uber uniques now. You can distinguish them when they drop. They're purple
Ooh.
versus the what is it, that orangish,
Yeah, the
light,
orange like glow that has like a little glow around it that's really small.
the light pink tint.
Yeah, that.
Because orange is the legendary, or legendaries, and then the uniques are like that pink tint that drop. So now, like, if you'll have a Uber unique if a purple one drops. So that's cool too.
It seems like they've been doing a lot with Diablo. Like we've talked about Diablo before, right? Like not obviously not here, but
Yeah.
the first 3 seasons definitely were not up to snuff. I don't think we did. Like I think you played more season 3 than I did. Don't even remember really playing season 3.
Season 3 was the constructs. I didn't play it at all.
Oh, you didn't play it at all? Okay, so we both stopped at season 2 then, and we came back season 4.
Yep.
And season 4 is where it's at. Season 4 is really good. We're For those who don't know about season 4, it was basically loot based. There wasn't really that much of a story. Really, they didn't try to like shoe in too much. You can really call season 4 like a rework season, where they fix a lot of the problems that they had with loot, with Barb not being strong enough, even though Barb apparently was strong for every other season except for season 2, which is the one I really played. Neither here nor there, whatever. But they fixed a lot in season 4, and now it seems like they're going to expand on that in season 5, which is necessary before we get into the expansion.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I think like that was the one thing that they highlighted on this, and they even talked about it and admitted it. Like the thing I said earlier was season 1 and 2 they were trying to cater to Diablo 2 guys, but they had that mixture of the Diablo 2 guys and the Diablo 3 guys, right? And people came over from both. But Diablo 2 guys, they don't like nothing. They're WWE fans. They don't like anything but Diablo 2.
They have Resurrection. They can just go sit on their porch over there and do their own thing over there.
That's what they're doing right now. They literally just got up and left, right? And they're like, "Oh, this isn't Diablo 2. I'm leaving." So they left us with the, it kind of. They were still going with that assumption. Oh, we wanted more like Diablo 2. When it was only all the Diablo 3 guys left, they're like, why can't I get a unique? Why can't I, this, that, and the other? So season 4 plays into that and like really reinforces, okay, yeah, this is, you can actually get stuff now. We have some in-game stuff. The Hell Tides were reworked. There's a lot of fantastic stuff. So like anybody listening that quit like season 1, season 2, I'd say now's a great time to come back to the game. Even if you go to the Eternal Realm, which also has everything but the Iron Wolf storyline,
Which is whatever, honestly.
I would implore you guys, get in there, check it out. Even with your old character, it doesn't matter. You'll be surprised. And the biggest part of this season's rework is the book, where you keep all of your affixes.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I got like the highest level shockwave, I don't have to worry about disenchanting it if it's on a shit item, because I'll keep that shockwave forever and I can put it on other things.
And enchanting's a little bit cheaper now, so you can really go in and just do whatever you want as long as you have gotten a drop before, or you've gone to farm it. You can just get that, so you can make whatever build you want now for your character, and it's a lot easier than it was back in season 1.
Oh yeah, and I didn't even talk about tempering.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about tempering. That was like the main part of season 4.
Yeah, the main part of season 4 is the like tempering. So tempering is what is making everything like possible. You can put stuff on your weapons and armor and things like that, like extras. Like say, like right now for my rogue, I'm doing the Heartseeker build, so I have to put um stuff that there's like one that's like when you attack somebody, the lucky hits have a chance to daze or stun or freeze them. Well, you can put that on everything now. Well, almost everything. I won't say everything. So when you do lucky hit, that effect is going to happen. Like barbarian, you can make bashes cleave,
Mm-hmm.
so you're hitting like 4 or 5 guys at once. And also have the bash do more damage. So it's like all of it together collectively is just great.
The build that I'm running right now for Diablo is
Yeah.
a Berserker Whirlwind build, right? So basically, spin the win. And what I have is on basically almost all of my armor pieces that are allowed to have it, like my ring, all of my weapons have uh, a Berserker damage, like extra damage. So I think
Oh,
I'm sitting right now with like 450% extra damage whenever I berserk, and I just wreck everything. I'm not even using like the meta shit, and I can still wreck everything.
oh man! Like I'm just gonna say this. So Heartseeker Rogue, right? I finally hit 100 like yesterday.
Nice.
But before I even hit 100, I was like level 86, 87. I could do um Nightmare Dungeon tier 90, which is like guys that are like level 150 and above. And I was like level like 80 something.
Knocking them out.
Just annihilating everything. And it was the most ridiculous thing because yeah, sure, if they have more HP than you, cool. It's not like they're ever going to touch you. The
Nice.
lucky hits go off, they get dazed, and there's a talent that knocks them down when they get dazed. So you're just constantly seeing them get up, fall on the floor, get up, fall on the floor, and then until they die. And if it's a boss, all you see is the stun meter go up. They're just they're just stunned, and they can't do anything about it. So it's like the build diversity now is really good.
It's Diablo 4 right now is in a really good place. We still got a little bit more time in the season. If anyone, like Proffitt said, if you have played before, if you haven't played, and if you have Game Pass, Diablo 4 is on Game Pass, and you don't have to pay extra for these seasons. Like you just get them. The expansion when that comes out, obviously you got to pay extra for that. But if you want to try Diablo 4, right now is the best time to do it. And if you don't want to pay, and you have Game Pass, just do it.
Yep. But I'll add this also. Diablo 4 is also on sale every 2 weeks.
God, it is.
So,
I actually need to buy it
so
again.
like, what are you doing? I'm not gonna lie. I bought it on Xbox, but I gave my Xbox to my wife, my
Mm-hmm.
Series X. I had a copy on PS5, and one day they were offering like some like massive bonus for for trading in games. So I traded it in, and I got more than what I paid for it, the physical version. And about, I think a month ago, I went back to the GameStop, and it was like $15.
Oh
So I just
damn!
bought it, and it was my copy that I that I traded in.
You just bought your copy back?
I just bought my copy back for like $15. So go to GameStop. I know people hate them. Don't hate GameStop. Just go to GameStop and say no to everything and buy your game and then leave. You're
Exactly.
good.
Like right now, it is if you want to play on Steam, $50. which it was a $7 game. That's still a little bit off. You can definitely wait for a sale. We're getting a sale pretty soon, I'm pretty sure, on Steam. But just give it a try, especially if you like ARPGs, things like that. It's fun now.
Yeah. And if you don't mind physical, you can, again, you can go to GameStop, buy it for $40. Or if it's used, it's $27.
Exactly. It's a win-win. Definitely try it now. I know people have been saying like really bad things about Diablo, but give it a shot. It's a good game.
Yeah, it's a good game. But you know what? That's going to lead us to something else.
Oh no, we're about to do it.
Oh yeah, we're doing this. So we're going to talk about the next game here, Destiny 2.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna put the floor, give you the floor, man. Tell us how good Destiny 2 is now.
You know what? I'm gonna start with a backstory. I don't think I told you about this before.
Oh no.
I have played Destiny literally since I couldn't get an alpha, but I got into the beta. So I've been playing Destiny damn near for 11 years. I played Destiny 1 religiously. Like, even during the bad times of Destiny 1, and I know people don't like to talk about the bad times of Destiny 1, they were there.
Oh yeah.
Played every day. Every single day. We go to Destiny 2. Buy it day one. Obviously, I'm very excited. I paid a lot of money for Destiny 2 day one. Oh god, I paid too much money for Destiny 2 day one. I didn't use any of that content. Anyway,
Oh shit.
I ended up stopping, like a lot of people did, during Red War, which is the very beginning of Destiny 2. I've gone back here and there. I've always had like the Destiny itch. I would never get rid of it. That would never be a thing I can never get rid of. For sure, not now. I've always stopped. If for one reason or another, Bungie did something stupid. The DLC wasn't great. There's too much going on. Blah 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 blah. I think Destiny 2 finally found their stride with this, and of course, this is the last DLC of the mainline story, which is another reason why I kind of got back into it. But the game has changed so much. Like, for people who have not played since the very beginning, I'm not going to touch on everything because they changed a lot, but the game is completely different. Like, for example, mods. You know how we had to grind for mods and you had to get them from other weapons, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Don't have to do that anymore. You level up,
no.
and as you level, you get mods, and you have your set of mods full. So I think you hit like level 5 or whatever, and you get all of them. Don't have to worry about it. So you can make whatever build you want. Now build crafting is a thing, speaking of which, because they have a new subclass system that came out last year, I think, where you can actually mix and match. You can actually like min-max things where your exotics matter now because you can make builds based on exotics. Not as crazy as Diablo, right? Like, you're not going to Diablo build craft, but there is a lot of different builds. Like, you can play a Titan 87 different ways. Offensive, defensive, hybrid, anything, you can do that. What else? I don't even know how else I want to talk about this. I'm just saying the game has changed drastically. And I know you're seeing Final Shape stuff. That's stuff you have to pay for. That's part of the problem with Destiny right now. There's so much that you have to buy, quote unquote, to get back into it, which they fixed also. Now they have a little bundle now where it's like $40, get every DLC except for the latest one. You don't have to worry about it. You're good.
So it's a catch up.
Yeah.
Catch up. Okay.
And you don't even have to do that right now. Like, if people want to try Destiny is free, and they have actually surprisingly a lot of content you can try for free, just to get back into it. You can level, you can do everything that you want. Obviously, you're not going to get like new subclasses and stuff like that, right? Because you don't have DLCs. But you can play a lot of content. Like I think what you get free right now is you get the first mission of this season, which, you know, the season's whatever, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like it's fun, but not anything crazy. I don't even know where to go. Where else to go with this, honestly.
Oh, okay. Well, how about this? I'll ask you a few questions.
Go for it.
Okay, so out of this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what exactly? Like, what's the thing that got you like, okay, this is what I want. You know, this is the Destiny I wanted to play.
The main thing right away was build crafting.
Okay.
You can min-max things if you have like I was saying earlier, you can build based on exotics, right? So the build that I'm running right now on my Titan is a void. What? How would I explain this? Because it's not really like a thing that's seen. Like basically, my melee will suppress people, and whenever I suppress them, people will explode. And with my exotic, you'll get double explosions basically. So you can basically wipe out a room like you could in Diablo, just by proccing
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of builds like that. Like they have a lot of different types of builds. Like I've seen a lot of different builds, even on like hunters. You can make a melee hunter build if you really wanted to.
Don't tell me that.
You could.
Don't tell me that.
Like it's like the build crafting that they do right now is honestly impressive. Like I wish they would have done this before,
Yeah.
but the fact that we have it now, and you have 6 subclasses that you can rock with, because you have fire, ice, and void, right?
Right.
And now you also have an ice subclass. You have basically a Spider-Man subclass in Strand, and we have the new one that they just did, which is called Prismatic, which is basically a mashup of everything. Like that's the one that we're kind of seeing on the video right now. We'll leave the video up so people can actually kind of see that. There's a lot going on in the game right now.
So, like, okay, to access some of the stuff, do I have to pay? Like, I guess that's my question. Like to access a lot of this new stuff. Is that just included in the game, or is it like expansion locked?
So a lot of this is actually based on subclasses. So the 3 subclasses that are free, right, which are Void, Solar, and Arc. Those are free, so you can still make your builds. You can still build craft and do things like that. There's going to be like some exotics that are locked behind expansions. Not all of them, right. But you can get a taste of what you're doing for free.
Okay.
Like you're not going to be able to make like the ice one I was talking about. You can't do that because that's locked behind a DLC, right?
Right.
But you have the main 3, and you can still have an idea of what you're getting into for free.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I downloaded it, so when the last time you mentioned it, so I'm excited to try it again because we got to max level that time, and then we started the raid, and then it's kind of where it fell off.
Yeah, that's really what it was. Once we tried to go in the raid, that first raid, it was over, right? Like no one really touched the game again at that point. But
Yeah.
now there's a lot more stuff to do. Like now you can get max level without having to do raid stuff. Like I'm telling you, they've changed so much that I haven't even scratched the surface on yet. That if you want to just try it, you should try it. People should try it. It's obviously not for everybody, right? Because it's still Bungie. They still do some scummy things. Like a lot of things aren't great. I'm not gonna say that Destiny is a perfect game because it's not. It's never been a perfect game. But right now is, I think, the best Destiny has ever been. So if you've missed like playing Destiny, now's a good time to at least try it to see if you haven't grown out of playing Destiny anymore. You know?
Yeah, like for me, like I think like for me, what the raid wasn't what made me stop playing Destiny. I think the thing that made me stop was like compared to Destiny 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Destiny 1, I can log on, I can do some stuff, I can, you know, it's kind of like, you have like 30 minutes and you have a goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Destiny 1, I can do that. I can jump in, do something for 30 minutes, farm this thing, get some dailies done. And, if I happen to have more time, then yeah, great, I can do more shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Destiny 2 at the start did not have that. Once you got to like a point of like being able to jump into a raid, all that kind of stops. Like you might have had like a daily or instance that you could do,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't like, I don't know. It wasn't as in like I'll say it wasn't as engaging as part one on that front.
It really wasn't, and I personally think they have done a better job about that now because you can get max level without doing the raid now. So by default, you have to have more stuff to do, right? Like if you're not going to go in the raid, if you have people who aren't going to be the top 1% in raid, but still want to get max level, still want to play like at least a couple times a week, you need things to do. Now they have that. I don't know
I'm
how much.
glad.
I don't know how much of it is free. That's part of the problem too. I don't know how much of it is free, but
Right.
there are like more different patrols. They have other missions that you can do that aren't just strikes that will get you higher powered gear.
Okay.
But yeah, the main problem right now with Destiny is trying to get back into it because you don't really know what to do, right? Like who realistically wants to pay even $40 for a bunch of stuff, right? Now you can get all the DLCs but the current one for a flat fee, but that wasn't a thing before until a week ago.
Right.
So that's like that's the hard, like I said, that's the hardest part about getting people back into it who were playing before. And I'm not saying that people need to get back into it. I'm not trying to do that. But right now, I think Destiny is in a better place than it was before. There's a lot to do, and you don't have to know life it like people did in Destiny 1. You can play 1 or 2 times a week and you can still be caught up and you're good. And there's always content to actually play now.
Right.
It's a win.
Man, you forgot what platform you're on. No, fuck all that. People, get your asses into Destiny. Get in there. Play it. Try it out. It's fucking free.
Yeah,
Get your ass.
give it a shot. Like the worst thing that happens is you say you don't want to play it and then you stop, right? But then you didn't invest any money anymore. You're good. And if you want to invest money to actually play more content, it's a lot easier now. You're not paying $300 to try to get all the DLC and stuff like that. Flat fee. You can play everything. You play this season, this expansion, which is Final Shape, which is probably honestly the best expansion that Destiny has ever done, personally, in my opinion. But you can do that. Just give it a shot. Try it.
You heard, man. Give it a shot. If I had a camera, I'd be staring right at it right now. Give it a shot.
I always have a hard time talking about Destiny because of how it's burned people, you know? Like, I know, because it burned me too. Like, so it's really hard for me, even right now, to give it the praise that it should get right now. Because I know there were a lot of people who actually suffered through the last couple years also. Because Destiny also was not great even 6 months ago. They were still having problems.
Right.
Have they fixed a lot of problems? Yes. Do they still have a lot of problems? Yes. But right now, I think Destiny's in the best state that it has honestly ever been in. There's so much to do. You still get that old feeling. Plus, if you're invested in the story, you probably should just play Final Shape so you can see the end of the story. Because the story that we've following since Destiny 1 is now over. It's done. Like we saw the actual ending of it. Might as well give it a shot.
Yeah, give it a shot, guys. Like, it's, I have no problem popping back into games, right? Like, even if one, like, especially MMOs, because it's like, shit can change in a season.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get 5 seasons of garbage, and then all of a sudden they figure it out, and it becomes something great, something good, right? Like there's yeah, and I think it's fun doing that. It's fun seeing that. Now there's some that just crash and burn,
Oh, for
but
sure.
it's fun to see like when a company's like, all right, this ain't working. Oh, we found it. We found it. We got it. Now we can build on it and move the game forward and make it the game it should be.
And Destiny has for sure found that it. They have it now.
Yeah, that's great.
But that's it, bro. That's our gaming section. That's it. We're done with gaming.
Oh, wait. We're not done with gaming.
Oh, snap. Oh.
We're not done. Oh, who said we were done?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. I'm ready. Hit me.
I'm gonna hit you with a story.
Oh, that's right. Profit story time. Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah, it's story time with Jeff Proffitt, baby. So,
Oh,
so as you guys know, I go to retro game stores and I go to game stores all the time and just go, game hunting and buy stuff. And the other day, I went to one of my favorites here in Las Vegas. It's called Retro City Games, and I was going looking for some NES games. So I was in the store, I was looking around, and I was looking at the NES stuff, and then I found a game. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was continuing to look, and these two guys and a kid, pop in. And one of the guys, he had like a Nintendo 64 with him, and all you hear, like, because it's pretty quiet, people minding their own business and shit. All you hear is, "Hey man, do you got a cable for this that'll work?" And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, we got the N64 stuff over there," and he showed him where the cables were. And he's like, "Yeah, man, I don't think people could get down on this N64. It's old school.
no,
Here
no.
I am with the fucking NES game in my hand. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Oh,
So
no.
I paid him no attention, right? So he left his shit up in the front, and he had an EverDrive. And for people that don't know what an EverDrive is, it's like $300, but it's a cartridge that can hold up to like 1,000 games,
Damn.
and you put them all on a SD card. So you get all the Nintendo 64 ROMs, or they got one for every system, but he had the N64 one. He's like, "Hey man, hey cuzzo, look over there and just make sure nobody takes that because that's expensive." I'm like, oh, okay. Why would you just leave your shit there? But whatever. Um. So yeah, he had an EverDrive, sitting there with all of his games loaded on it. So he finally comes back in. He gets he's at the front talking to the main guy. He has a cable, and his friend pops up and is looking over my shoulder at the game I got. It's some random ass game. It's called Dino Wars for the NES, but where you're riding in a like a dinosaur,
Uh huh.
and then you jump out of the mech and then you like shoot people. It's old school 8-bit game. He's like, yeah. And the guy looks at me. He's like, "Oh, hey, what you got there?" And I showed him. He's like, "Oh yeah, the kid's like this little one right here. He don't know anything about that. All he's seen is CDs and DVDs." I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah." He's only like 5. He's like, "Yeah, man. You ever heard of the EverDrive?" I'm like, "Yeah, you load up a lot of games on it, and you can play stuff." He's like, "Now here's where you're gonna hear the weirdest flex ever."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, man, have you ever played Mario Tennis? I was like, for the N64? He's like, yeah, man, I'm undefeated in Mario Tennis. I'm like, Yeah, I played it before. He's like, yeah, I bet you I'd beat your ass in that game. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, yeah, you probably would. And then he proceeds to yell out in the whole store, hey, anybody in the store that wants to you go against me in Mario Tennis, I'll beat all your asses. I'm undefeated. I'm like, what?
Oh my
That is the
god.
weirdest fucking flex I've ever heard. Just randomly. This is just a random time of me going to a store.
Oh my god.
So yes, he shouted out everybody in the store to play him in some Mario Tennis 64, and that he is the best in the world. But little did this guy know, if he would have turned it up to the Switch, Mario Tennis on the Switch, he's looking at the former champion of Mario Tennis Switch in a small office. I could say I'm undefeated because I got sand in my eye that day that I lost.
Oh yeah, no, that didn't count.
Yeah, that didn't count. I retired undefeated. But yeah, no, man. Just like that was a crazy, random thing that happened to me while I was game hunting.
Bro, how did you going to Retro City Games result in someone trying to G check you in Mario Tennis N64?
I don't know. Shit like this happens to me all the time.
Oh my god. See, they don't know you can bench buildings. That's why they do that to you.
No, it's you know, I don't know, man. Like it was hilarious. I'll just say that the shit was hilarious.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But all right, here's the kicker to the whole thing. How the
Uh-huh.
fuck are you gonna challenge people to a game of Mario Tennis and you don't got a goddamn controller?
You know what? That's a good point.
Okay, they were buying controllers because they didn't have any.
Oh, so he was definitely not champion of the universe in Mario Tennis 64 if he's buying controllers.
He's buying a controller because they didn't have a fucking controller. All they had was a console, an EverDrive, and no cable to hook it up with, and no controllers.
Oh, so he,
Just
he
saying, if I would have challenged him, I probably would have won. Your Mario Tennis Switch World Heavyweight Champion of the world would have won.
he's definitely like those people who say that they're really good at Marvel 2, but have only played like two people and have never actually gone out to experience how people who have played Marvel 2 for like a year have played even back then.
Oof, they're gonna be hurt.
Oh god.
Marvel 2 will hurt your feelings.
God, yeah, it will. So will Mario Tennis, not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, man. If I had my controller, I would challenge his ass.
See, that would have made the situation a lot worse because you would have beat him, and then some shit would have popped off.
Nah, man, he would have fucking turned the game off. That's the type of guy he is. I could tell. You're undefeated because you turned the game off when you're about to lose.
Oh, or he like unplugs your controller.
Yeah.
Mario champion from 20 years ago. All right.
Yeah. The guy wasn't like, I'm 41, so the guy was trying to sound like he was like my age or older, and I'm like, dude, you're younger than me. You're in your 20s.
Wait. Okay.
talking about N64. Get out of here.
Okay. That's a part that we really need to talk about really quick. The
Yeah.
motherfucker's in his 20s talking about how he's the champion of Mario 64. Who was he playing against? His parents? That really doesn't count now for sure.
I think he was probably playing against his cousin, and his cousin sucks at it. So he's the champ.
Man, listen, I'm undefeated at Marvel 2 in my house also. But I'm also the
Yeah.
only person that plays Marvel 2 in my house.
Yeah, man. There's some of the hilarious shit that goes on just randomly when I'm game hunting.
Prophets, prophecies. That's what we can call this. We'll think of another name, something. All right, now we're getting to our final segment of the day, which is anime.
Oh yeah.
We don't have a lot here, but we're gonna start with. I can call this probably one of your favorites, one of your new favorites, right?
Oh yeah. I'll 100% say like it's one of my favorite shows.
Delicious in
Currently.
Dungeon.
Yeah. Delicious in Dungeon. So just to give you guys like fair warning, just like from the jump, we're not doing spoiler free no more.
Nope.
So um if you want to like skip due to spoilers or what have you, I'm just warning you right now. uh Spoilers incoming. And with that, I'm gonna start off. Delicious in Dungeon. It's about a party that, like, right in the beginning of the show, the main character Laios and his party, they go down to fight a dragon, and they lose horribly.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest loss of the whole thing is his sister Fallon. She gets killed, like the dragon eats her. But the main thing about the dungeon that's mysterious is the fact that people can be resurrected in the dungeon as long as their corpse or their bones and stuff like that don't leave the dungeon. So you pretty much have infinite life as long as somebody can resurrect you. So when Laios and his party gets back up to the surface, Laios is like, "No, I'm not going to leave my sister dead down there. I'm going to go resurrect her." And at that point, like half the party leaves except for two people, which is a mage named Marcel and their thief slash pathfinder called Chilchuck, who is like you can almost say he's like a hobbit. He's like a gnome, like hobbit type guy. Um, and the main thing about this show that makes it so like compelling is it's one of those ones that has everything. So like they have moments where they have comedy moments. They have moments where they're like, they have moments of action where they're fighting stuff, but you really get into like what's going on, like, kind of like it's really like a journey, like going all the way through. And it's kind of like just taking your, I'm not gonna, it's kind of like D&D where you're taking your party to go through to save somebody. If you make a campaign like that, and you're finding out, getting characters along the way. Like one of the characters along the way that they get, who I think is the best character of the show, is a character named Senshi.
Oh, the boy.
That's the boy.
Master Chef.
Yep. Um, he's a dwarf, but he knows how to cook everything, almost everything in the dungeon. So this is where the delicious part comes in. When they fight monsters and they kill them, one of the main characters, Laios, he's always curious about, well, we killed it. How does it taste? Luckily, our boy Senshi knows how to cook everything. So when they kill a monster, guess what's happening next? They're gonna eat it. So they've eaten the dragon. They've eaten like people, like mermaids.
Mm-hmm.
they've eaten the like. There's like these like mimic coins and stuff that like treasure chest mimics. They've eaten those that somehow taste like crabs. And Senshi, his main thing is he's in the dungeon all the time because he's making sure the ecosystem of the dungeon thrives. So like he's making sure, like, when stuff gets killed, or like, the main predator of the dungeon gets killed, like all the smaller predators don't take over. So he's kind of like an equalizer, and he keeps the dungeon in good shape until they figure out how to defeat the dungeon, which is the dungeon is popped up because of a mage.
Oh.
And you get to see that mage like later on, like when Laios jumps into a painting. Yeah, there's wild shit like that. He like jumps into a painting to, because they were trying to get food, or I think it was, yeah. So they ran out of food. He jumped into a painting to see if he could pull food out of the painting. But what the painting happened to be was memories, like, of the mage that was there. So he couldn't eat anything. It was just like a
Oh man.
disaster, like all the way through. But I will say, like, just overall, the story is fantastic. You would not know this is a Studio Trigger show by watching it, because you would think, like, Studio Trigger, you like, Lagurn Lagan and stuff like that. It's kind of a different, a different type of show than those.
It's definitely like a different vibe, but it's a really good show though.
Yeah, it's a really damn good show. So that's going to be Delicious in Dungeon is going to be my recommendation for the week. You guys got homework out there. Watch Delicious in Dungeon on Netflix.
Yeah, make sure you watch it. It's really good. I actually need to finish it, but I really enjoyed the show. One of my favorite parts of the show is whenever Senshi is explaining how he's cooking it, and it's like a Gordon Ramsay type like breakdown. He's doing his seasonings. He's showing you how he like makes his fire. It's great.
Yep, it's fantastic.
Plus that story. The story is really deep. It's a lot deeper than you think it would be. Even the trailer doesn't do how deep the show is justice.
Yeah, like I didn't get too far into the story, but just the basics of it is what I explained. Main character's sister gets eaten by a dragon. Most of his party members leave, and him and the existing party members, Marcel and Chilchuck, they go back into the dungeon to get his sister. And I will say one of the things is, like, they get his sister, and they get her bones out of the dragon, because they actually do kill the dragon and eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Marcel uses dark magic to resurrect her sister. Resurrect Laios' sister. And it is not 100% what they thought. It's not a one-to-one thing. Some parts of the dragon were within her, so when the mage pops up, who was controlling the dragon, she gets controlled by the mage. And she turns into like a chimera. And so they're chasing her around the dungeon now as a chimera.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so this shit's wild. Like the story goes from save Laios' sister to they gotta put her down. Because like she is ungodly strong as that chimera. Because it's a chimera that can use magic.
Yeah, y'all need to watch that. Plus, we didn't mention season 2 was announced.
Yeah, season 2 was just announced, so
the anime's still going.
It's gonna be still going, so catch up.
All right, I think we can move forward. Like Prof said earlier, there's gonna be a spoiler cast. The anime that I want to talk about this week, we actually kind of touched on a little bit last week, but we actually kind of want to break it down because I ended up finishing it this week, which was Garodin.
Ooh boy,
man.
So first off, man. All right, you watched it now. What's your overall thoughts on it?
We'll break this down like this. Netflix has 3 major battle anime at this point now, right? Kengan, Baki, and Garodin. I think that Garodin, even with only having 8 episodes, only with having 1 season, is the best of the Netflix battle anime. Easily.
Okay. Okay. Well, like, so why do you say that?
The battles are so much more realistic than in anything else. Like I don't know if anyone outside has watched Baki or watched Kengan. Those they are normal people, but they kind of have like abilities. Like I won't touch too much into those, right? But they have abilities. In Garoden, it's straight hands, it's straight action. They're using actual fighting styles, and if you break an arm or if someone puts you in a choke for longer than 10 seconds, like in real life, and if they know how they're doing it, it's over. And that's what makes this show amazing. The realism in all of the combat. So what do you think, bro? Tell me what you think about the show.
So in general, I just think like, so we mentioned Baki and King and Ashura. So it's those two. Like if you were to put it on like a scale of like extremes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Garoden is like on the far, like, I don't know, whatever side you want to call it, but it's like it's normal.
It's like a one.
They're humans. They're
Yeah.
actual humans, right? But they're like peak human, right? So, and then it starts getting crazy. So then it goes to like 9, which is King and Ashura. And that's like the difference that you're looking at here. Like King and Ashura, somebody can get their arm broken, their leg broken, and then they come out with some type of mode or heat mode, like ability that snaps their arm back together so they can use it for 5 more minutes.
Yeah, they basically have like an
Right?
install, like an install super or something.
Yeah. And then Baki is like 50. That show's just insane, right? Like they're all supposedly human, but they go way beyond it. They're just ridiculous. Like Yujiro Yujiro Hanma alone can live through a nuclear bomb. He can just walk through it. And if an earthquake happens while he's fighting his son, he can punch the ground and stop the earthquake, and the earthquake will bow down to Yujiro Hanma. That's the difference. That's like the difference that we're looking at here. But yeah, like Garoden is the most grounded. Like the fights, because like if somebody gets their leg broken or their arm broken, it has a new meaning. It's like, okay, well, this guy's actually like he's screwed. Like he's his arm's broken. He can't do well. It's not like he can't do much of anything. It's just that he's now limited. There's nothing gonna snap that shit back.
We can actually
Right?
we can actually give a really good example. So one of my favorite fights, which had a very bullshit ending, I'm just gonna say that, I'm just bullshit, is Fujimaki versus Jose. Fujimaki, he is definitely more mixed martial arts. He knows how to do chokes. He knows how to do throws. His whole style is basically being able to do that. And Jose is a boxer, but he has ground ability. Like he's able to do arm bars. He's able to block kicks. Like he's not, his lower half isn't a vulnerability, right?
Right.
So what happens in that fight is eventually Fujimaki, I don't want to say break his arm because he definitely didn't break it, but he definitely like dislocated something in his arm, and that ended the fight. Like that was it, obviously, right? Because if you dislocate something on a boxer, that's it. Like you're not, he's not going to start using his legs to start kicking and stuff like that. It's over. The bullshit part was like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and put this in back for you, and just put his arm back in after the fight was over. We're not talking about the reason why they were fighting. We can probably talk about that a little bit later. But he was like, oh yeah, you know what? We're done. Pop back. Bullshit. He should have won, but that's my bias. Proceed.
Well, you know what? Like, we can get into it. Like, so, like, the main reason Jose was fighting Fujimaki was because Fujimaki, for some, for better or worse, he didn't think he was going to be entered into that tournament. He thought when he said no, he walked away. But little did he know, he was He was in the tournament whether you liked it or not.
Yeah, he was getting tested the entire time.
So Jose knew this and was like, "Hey, if I can beat you, I can get in the tournament, so I can get because if I win the tournament, then I can get like all the stuff that happened to me, like with my boxing license and stuff like that. I can get all that back, and I can become a boxer again." Um, and the same with that was like one of the main stakes. And the same with Fujimaki. Fujimaki, who is like he's been running away from the law. He's a wanted fugitive for killing a man because a guy broke into his dojo, or broke into the dojo he was at, and he did, on after he saw what the guy did to the woman that he was going to try to get with. The guy, Fujimaki snapped and fucking just flat out killed him. It wouldn't have been a contest in the first place, like if they would have fought, but he just like took him and threw him on top of a rock, which is one of the killing moves within Fujimaki's martial arts, the style that they study. So he ran away after that, and the reason he runs away is like it's a little like it's like damn, you just could have got away with it because it's self-defense and knowing what he did to that girl. But yeah, like there's layers to the story.
We can we can get into the story a little bit. Like we can get into a little bit. Like we already said that we're okay with spoilers and stuff like that, right? So Proffitt already explained that the reason that he was running away is because he was not afraid. He knew what he was doing when he killed the man. But so because of that, he has been watched. He's been followed. He's basically, I don't know if he's on like a most wanted list, but he is a fugitive. He's been a fugitive for a long time. And because of that moment, he didn't want to fight anymore. So when we meet Fujimaki at the very beginning of the series, he's fighting a fucking bear because he needs to get that aggression out of him. He fought a brown bear, and that's what got the tournament organizers to look like, oh shit, this guy needs to be in our fucking tournament. We need him. But obviously he was saying that he wasn't going to fight humans anymore. Like that he wasn't going to fight people. That just wasn't the thing. Right. Eventually that ends up changing because people started getting thrown in front of him and he had no choice.
Yeah, that and like his main thing he said throughout the thing was he only fights beasts, right? So if you consider yourself a beast, then he'll fight you. But because he was at that point in his martial arts training where if he fought a normal person, they're just dead. There would be zero challenge. He would just end them, and there would be nothing they can do about it. So like when they told him about the tournament after he beats Jose, and they said, "Hey, this is a tournament of beasts." That's when he starts getting interested, and you see throughout the show when it flashes when like that werewolf flashing thing. That's him getting into his inner beast and like getting in the zone and getting that killer instinct to fight somebody. That's the thing he's been suppressing the whole time.
And God, when he lets that beast out, he is like a different person because that's when you I don't call it an ability, like I guess his like secret move was it called the double fang, when he puts his leg around the back of your neck and then comes up with a knee.
Oh no, that's called Tiger King.
Tiger King. There it is. Where did I even get double fang from? It's definitely like a Tekken move, I think.
Kengan Ashura.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was Kengan, isn't it? Yup.
Boy,
that show. That fucking
because
show.
only one guy uses it. It's your boy.
Yeah. I haven't even seen him yet either. That's the funny part about it. He's ingrained in me.
Season 3, bro.
I'm gonna get there. That's the only reason I'm watching Kengan is to see him.
Oh yeah, that guy's a beast.
But yeah, Garden's a really good show. Like we were saying before, the fights are a lot more grounded in reality.
Yeah.
That's what I think makes it, in my opinion, better than Baki and Kengan Ashura. Because that's what I prefer anyway. Like, sure, I like watching like high power stuff. Like, obviously, my favorite anime is One Piece. Blah blah blah. Of course, I watch very high power stuff. But it's nice to see something a little bit more realistic because we don't get that often. That's what makes the show special.
Yeah, it's more of the stakes, right? Like honestly though, like out of the shows, since this is the most grounded, the funny thing is, like when we're talking about the extremes and stuff like that, Baki, believe it or not, like over King and Ashura, like a lot of the stakes are like higher in those fights
Mm-hmm.
because like it's either there's a lot of them where it's like you either win or you're dead, right? Like when the main crew went against the convicts,
Yeah.
if you didn't win, you were dead. Like if Hanayama didn't beat that guy, beat the convict he beat, and like took a grenade to the mouth, he would have died.
That's kind of what I don't like about Kengan. Like, I'm not that far into it. I've only watched now 4 episodes, I think. Like, I'm about to get into the actual like tournament of it, right? Like, obviously, I'm also not a fan of like companies and stuff like that. So companies have representatives to fight for them to get what they want. Not really big on that. Not really big on the characters either, to be honest. But
Right. Well, it's different, right? Like,
yeah,
their whole motivation is, for doing the tournament is different. Like, even Nintendo has a guy that goes down there, right? So, like the big. Oh, you haven't seen that part yet.
well, I know there's like 1,000 people that represent each one, right? Like, this has been going on for years, and there's people that have like 150 wins and stuff. Well, one person has 150 wins. Like, so I know that there's going to be a lot, so they can keep on drawing this out for as long as they want. It's just Baki has better stakes.
Oh
Garodin
yeah.
has better stakes, even if they are lower stakes in Garodin. It's just in Kengan they're kind of fighting because they want to fight, and all power to you. Not for me.
Well, in Garodin, we didn't even get like to the main the actual main character shows up, Busichi Champa,
Yeah, we haven't even talked
the
about him at
actual
all
main
yet.
character of the overall show. That guy himself, like, just in the manga, that dude's a monster. Like, and even in the show, they like kind of like hint at it. Like, he ain't one to be fucked with,
He fights
right? Like,
Fujimaki twice.
yeah, he fights Fujimaki twice,
Both
and
stalemates.
yeah, he keeps up with him both times, and actually defeats Fujimaki's master in a fight. So, yeah, Tamba, he's no joke. But like, I could see season 2 being about showing him and his story because like that dude goes through some shit, and he's like, if you guys take a look at it, he's actually like the precursor of Baki.
Oh, I can see that.
He's literally like, you break him down, he's Baki Hanma. Like,
Go ahead and give some
yeah.
examples. Like, give some examples to the people.
Um, so some of the examples is like his extreme like training regimen, what he's doing. Like he obviously has like actually it's not much different from what Baki Hanma was doing, going to dojos because he's called the dojo hunter
Mm-hmm.
in Garodin. So he goes to all the dojos and he's challenging the best in the dojo to get them closed down. Like, so he's the best. And learn, and he's also one that can just like Baki, as he's fighting somebody, he can learn their style. So he was learning Fujamaki's style as he was fighting him. Baki has the ability to mimic anybody and completely learn their style by just watching them or fighting them. There's see the similarities there? Like,
Yeah, it's close.
That and, like, a lot of the, we'll just go with, like, some of the characters, like, Shozan. Shozan's Dopo. Right? Like, but, like, it would be Dopo if he was scaled up to Yujiro. In this universe, Shozan is, like, he's the shit. He's the guy to beat. But, like, yeah, like, and also, too, like, Tanba, like, the difference between Tanba and Baki is, though, Tanba actually takes L's. Like, he'll lose. He'll just flat out lose. And, he'll come back and beat the guy. Like, he'll do some training and, like, figure out how to beat the guy. Unlike Baki, like, now, he can't take an L to save his life. He can't lose.
Well, yeah, he can, because Baki can also, like, visualize anyone fighting and then fight them himself in his mind. So he's not going to lose because he's always prepared for anyone now.
Yeah. Well, in the show, like the original seasons that they need to put on Netflix,
they really do.
In season 2, he did lose.
Yeah, he was losing. Yeah.
He got suplexed by a fucking, just this random guy. He wasn't focusing. He got suplexed and got KO'd. But Plot Armor came in and gave him a second chance.
Yeah, of course.
And then he won.
Yeah, it is what it is. You know how that's going to be, right? Well, that's why I'm talking about, like, how Garodin is just dripped in realism. Like, you're not going to win every fight. Like, you're not going to be prepared for everyone. That's why this show is fantastic, and we need a season 2. Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. I'm staring at you right now. Even though you can't see it, motherfuckers, I'm staring at you. We need a season 2. We need to go through the Tamba arc. We need to get Fujimaki when he comes back out of prison, because that's a thing. And yeah, like, Garden, such a damn good show. Like, if you haven't watched it yet and you like battle anime, like, Baki and King and Ashura, give Garden a shot. It's the more grounded of the 3 shows, and the action and stuff and the combat that happens in it, more based in realism. So it's, there's higher stakes, and it's a great show. It'll have you on your, when the fights start, it'll have you on, at the front of your seat, just waiting to see what happens.
Plus, it's 8 episodes. Just watch it.
Yeah, it's only 8 episodes. Come on. And, once you see Tiger King happen, go watch Baki after that.
And then,
that's all I'll say.
And then don't watch Kengan. Just don't worry about it. You're good.
You really hate Kengan, don't you?
I'm not a fan, bro. I'm not a fan at all of Kengan Ashura.
Get to some of the fights. I think you'll be a fan after that.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it rock. I'm gonna let it rock for a season. I'm probably gonna watch the whole thing anyway, but I'm gonna let it rock for a season to see if I can get some enjoyment out of it.
Because there are some points where it's like, dude gets one arm broken, and then he gets his leg broken, and he can't get up, and that's it.
Well, that makes sense, right?
Stuff like that happens, right?
Yeah, man. I think that's a good place to call it. I think we did it. We finished episode 2.
Wait, that's 2 in a row, man.
Oh my god, that's a streak.
Yep.
We need just one more episode to tie the Lakers' longest winning streak of last season. We can do that.
Oh god. Shit, we're gonna pass that next week then, because part of episode 3 is on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to get that out to you guys as soon as, after we record it. We'll do a little bit of editing and get it out to you guys for our pre-show for Forbidden Door.
Mm-hmm. So, again, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for taking the time. And we will see you in the next episode. Peace out, y'all.
Yep. Peace out, guys. Holla back at us.